Hello, today I am going to discuss about SN2 reaction. It is, the full form is substitution nucleophilic bimolecular reaction. Okay, substitution nucleophilic bimolecular reaction, but it is a one step process. Okay, it is a one step process. The general form of this reaction is, let us take the example from the previous class. C, G1, G2 and G3 along with a leaving group will be attacked by a nucleophile. Okay, and the nucleophile will replace this leaving group like this. Okay, this is the general form of the reaction. Now let us study the mechanism of the reaction. See, here I have written E plus and Nu minus. I have written the reagent as E plus and Nu minus, where this is the attacking nucleophile. Okay, this is the attacking nucleophile. And what is it? As I have told you earlier in the previous video, that nucleophile is maybe stable. Some nucleophiles are highly stable, some nucleophiles are less stable, but no nucleophile will stay as an anion forever. It have to combine with an electrophile to become a stable compound. So this is the main thing. Suppose if we take an example, OH minus, which is a nucleophile, it must be associated with Na plus or K plus like this, or any other cation to become a moiety. Okay, to become a species or a compound. So with that said, let us go to the mechanism part. In the mechanism part, what we will observe, that as it is a one step process, this is a one step process. So in the mechanism, suppose this is G1, this is G2, this is G3 and this is the leaving group, and the nucleophile is coming from this side. Nucleophile will attack this carbon and the leaving group will get out from this moiety. Okay, so this happens via a wedge line. This happens via a wedge line. Here the nucleophile comes, here it is carbon, here it is G1, here it is G2, and here it is G3, and here is the leaving group. The method is same that I have told you earlier, that this must be a better nucleophile than this one, and this should be a good or a better leaving group than this nucleophile. The process, the main funda of the reaction is same. The flavors of the substitution nucleophilic reactions have that thing in common. So what happens here? Here this comes and this goes out, but practically in this transition, this is the transition state of this reaction. In this transition state, what is happening? Give a good look in this part. What I am trying to show you is that here is the lobe p orbital. Okay, this one is empty. Okay, and this one is filled with electrons, and it will bind with the, it has this bond, this bond was previously there. Okay, this is, I am showing you in details what is happening really in the transition state. So the filled p orbital, the filled p orbital of the carbon is getting bonded or mutually shared with the filled p orbital of the leaving group, giving rise to a covalent bond, and this part and this side is empty. So during this bond breaking, here a bond breaking takes place and a bond making simultaneous. This is this type of reaction where bond making and bond breaking takes place simultaneously is known as a concerted reaction. This form is a concerted reaction form. So here the nucleophile, and we have already told you that the negative charge is nothing but a lone pair. So here the electron, the extra electron is coming here, and leaving group is drawing this electron towards itself. here a bond formation is taking place, and here the bond breaking. This carbon in the transition state does not have a 5 hand or 5 bond. This carbon does not have 5 bonds. Here this is the main thing which is taking place. Here the hybridization mainly comes as sp2 plus p. Here the hybridization mainly comes as sp2 plus p, because this is the sp2 character of this carbon, and this p bond, this p lobe, this p orbital, one side it is getting the electron out, and from the other side it is taking the electron in from a different nucleophile, and it is giving this electron to its own nucleophilic group. So with that said, what is happening here? sp2 and p. So here now the carbon here will be the empty orbital, and this side it will be the filled orbital. Okay, here it will be the filled orbital. At first this was the filled, this was empty. Now this will be filled, and that one will be empty. Okay, and here is the nucleophile. In this process, this is a very simple process. It looks very simple, but here the main thing takes place. First breaking occurs, then making takes place, because carbon cannot have more than 4 bonds, because it will violate the octet rule. If carbon at first takes the nucleophile and then leaves the leaving group, then at any instant it must have a 5 bond. It must have a 5 bond, but carbon never has 5 bond. It can never exhibit 5 bonds, because it will violate the octet. With that said, so this is the mechanism. The leaving group goes out, the incoming nucleophile comes in, but again the same thing, the same question comes: what will be the solvent for this reaction? So we will go to the solvent part. Before going to the solvent part, let us tell you one thing, that this is a phenomena where first bond breaking takes place. That means in a position some amount of charge or carbocation formation, slight carbocation formation will take place. In this method, in this form, if these are highly sterically hindered, if these are highly sterically hindered, so this approach might not take place easily. This approach might not take place easily, because unless and until it is coming to this vacant lobe, unless and until this nucleophile is coming in the vicinity of this vacant lobe, this electron will not tend to move towards the leaving group. These electrons will not tend to move towards the leaving group. Okay, so for this reaction, the nucleophile approach to the carbon, to this central carbon, is essential. If these groups are highly congested groups or bulky groups, then it will inhibit the approach of this nucleophile. So these groups must be of smaller size. As said, if we consider this to the alkyl halide reaction, so we know that methyl, the methyl group, okay, the methyl with the leaving group has least sterical hindrance compared to 1 degree, then 2 degree, and then 3 degree. Actually 3 degree alkyl halides, suppose this group is X, or the halogens, this is halogens, it can be I, Br, Cl, etc. Not etc, it is I, Br, Cl, okay, it is halogens. So these alkyl halides will have this type of trend for SN2 reaction. Okay, alkyl halides will have this type of trend for SN2 reaction. Now let us come back to the solvent part. Solvent system, a very much important thing, that the reaction process involves solvent specificity. Okay, here the solvent specificity should be taken into mind or taken into consideration that the fact that some amount of positive charge is produced, some amount of positive charge is produced, very finite or delta positive it might be, because this, if I consider this also, there is a delta plus and a delta minus, so some amount of positive charge should be there to facilitate the substitution reaction, or else substitution reaction will not take place. So polarity will develop within the molecule in order to undergo substitution reaction. So our first criteria will be the solvent must be polar. The solvent must be polar. Okay. Now here what is happening? This part CH3Cl, suppose I am taking this one as an example. If I take an nucleophile, suppose I am taking OH as a nucleophile, suppose I am taking NaOH, Na plus OH minus in water. Okay, suppose I am taking Na plus and OH minus in water, NaOH. So the reaction will be CH3OH. But here the reaction will go, the reaction will undergo. There is no obligation about this reaction, but what is happening here, both Na plus and OH minus will be solvated with the what? By the water molecules. This both Na plus and OH minus will be solvated by the OH group. Here this lone pair will be attracted. So what is happening if I use a protic solvent? This nucleophilicity of the nucleophile, if I use a protic solvent, the nucleophilicity of this nucleophile decreases. A protic solvent decreases the nucleophilicity. Okay, decreases the nucleophilicity of the nucleophile. Okay, but in place of water, if we use an aprotic solvent which is polar but aprotic, which does not have a hydrogen to give a hydrogen bond, suppose in place of water I am using DMSO. What is DMSO? DMSO is dimethyl sulfoxide, MESME. This is dimethyl sulfide, and here if I give a O, it will become dimethyl sulfoxide. Dimethyl sulfoxide, what will it do? It will only cage the sodium ion. It will only cage the sodium ion like this. Okay, with dipole-dipole bonding. It will only cage the sodium ion. Okay, sodium or potassium, whatever I give, it will only cage that one. Okay, so the main thing, and OH will be free, so its nucleophilicity will not be reduced, and we have encountered the nucleophilicity should be high for the SN2 process, as this positive charge is not prominent for this, or not that much stable, or that much, it does not stay for that much time as it was staying for SN1 reaction. So this OH minus should be of higher concentration. And as well as should be free to attack. If it is solvated with water or its own counterpart, then also if it is attracted towards H plus of water or its own electrophile counterpart Na plus, then also its nucleophilicity will decrease highly. So the solvent specificity will be polar aprotic solvents. ठीक है? Is it clear? So example will be CH3S double bond O, CH3 DMSO, and you can use CH3CN acetonitrile as a solvent, or you can use acetone as a solvent. Okay, these are the solvents that can be used for SN2 reaction. These solvents will highly favor SN2 reaction. Okay, another solvent is the DMF, dimethyl formamides. Okay, now the last part is the stereochemistry of this reaction. Stereochemistry of the reaction is very simple. In stereochemistry, inversion of configurations take place. Okay, in stereochemistry, inversion of configuration, that is, here you have seen it was G1, it was G2, here it was G3. This was the leaving group and this was the incoming nucleophile. Okay, so if a group with R configuration as a parent moiety was present, then the daughter product will be a S compound. Okay, so the daughter product will be a S compound. If the parent compound was R, then the daughter compound will be a S compound. So this is stereochemistry. We have told you, we have discussed about the stereochemistry, the solvent specificity, the trend of the substrate structure, the sterical hindrance, everything. But we haven't discussed about the rate of the reaction. Here, as it is a one-step process only, the rate will be dependent on that process. It is a one-step process and rate will be dependent on that one only. So rate will be directly proportional to the concentration of the substrate, that is C, G1, G2, G3 and leaving group, and concentration of ENU or the nucleophile. Okay, this will be the reaction. If we just remove the proportionality sign, a constant or rate constant will come. This reaction, as is dependent on both of them, it is unimole, it is first order with respect to the substrate, the parent moiety, as well as it is first order with respect to the nucleophilic reagent. Okay, so overall order of SN2 process is equals to 2. Okay, so today we have completed SN2 reaction, and in our next video we will go for the SNI reaction. Okay, bye.